of course, as Dora showed you before, you always start with light tones that won't matter if they're in the wrong place or not. Notice I'm putting even these light tones into places where I eventually will want it to be darker. So with this, the first light color, you can be so free you can't possibly make a mistake that you can't cover later because you're working with such light color. Now, I know that Doris said she doesn't do eyebrows. I'm making this whole side of the face this way darker because the light, I'm assuming, is coming from this side. I'm all in favor of painting eyebrows because eyebrows move. And when they move, they help add life to a painting. I'm just gradually making it darker, putting in some nice warms that will make her look more friendly. In painting, you kind of are catching an attitude of the person. Like if you were hired to paint someone, you would try to look at them for a while to see what kind of person they are and capture part of their attitude. Like her attitude is kind of, I thought after I got finished sketching her, that she thought she might be pretty, she thinks she's pretty good, you know, hot stuff, and maybe she's better than you are, and all kind of thing like that. So I kind of a little haughtiness to her. So I'm trying to make that, put that in her if I can. If not,
something I don't understand is how do you get rid of the pencil marks?
you don't. You keep them
They
there.
stay in your picture.
Yeah, they stay there forever. People who buy
And that's acceptable.
people who buy watercolors sometimes look for that pencil mark because they like to see the color, the mark of the artist. The mark of the artist is a nice, good thing. So, two things.
Well, that was
put the
worth my
pencil.
$40 right there. Because I've been trying to get rid of the pencil marks.
Put the pencil marks real light so you don't hardly even see them. Mm-hmm. And then if you do see them, that's okay. Hair should never be treated like a wig like this one. This is bad hair. It's like one clump. That's why I'm hiding it from you. Hair is
brought it for a bad example.
Yeah, it's a live thing, you know. So you know, we want to put in surprise, pretty colors, and while we are working with them, we're working with light, nice colors. Slowly getting darker. Burnt sienna, or a little green, or a little blue. Oh, eyebrows. You know why I like eyebrows? Because they move. And so they say a lot about a person. They show different feelings. They show surprise and anger and all these things. I have a son who controls his 2-year-old son with his eyebrows. With his eyebrows.
Yes.
And you probably know that feeling, how sometimes at that age, a little kid will look at you to see, can I touch this? You know, they're looking at you for permission, kind of. And if you give them that eye, you know, the serious eye, maybe even, you know, they know they shouldn't touch it. But if you go, you know, with your eyebrows and your eyes, you know, you lift your eyes, yeah, that's okay, you can touch it, you know. But he says it all with his eyes and his eyebrows, which I think is kind of neat because too many kids today hear that word no all the time. You know, no, don't do this. And there are better ways to do that. Anyway, eyebrows are neat. Okay, let's get into some other surprise colors here. As long as you're putting it in light, you don't have to be afraid to add any colors. Let's see, there's a nice square. Go from the chin right into the neck. I've passed this space right here, about 4 times already, but each time it was just with a a slightly darker color.
You really had some work done on your hair. It looks great.
Oh.
As you're down, you can see all your highlights.
She cut it, and then she suggested I put a few strands of gray through the white. I said, all right. I said, nice subtle gray would be good. Well, it turned out to be black, which is darker than I wanted it, so I wasn't too happy about it, but
Well, I think it looks good.
it's all right. Let's see. Purples are nice too.
Yeah, next time you can put purple in.
Yeah.
I tried.
I don't think that's what she meant. She meant purple on her palette, I think.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I'm teasing.
Oh,
Remember all the purple or blue ladies? The blue.
Yes, and they have the song "Blue Hair's Driving in My Lane." Yes,
when I'm old, I shall wear purple.
and we all do.
Yeah, what do I have on today?
We do.
I must be old.
See how that works?
No, purple is one of the highest color.
So should there be one
Yeah.
side
And
of
the
her
chakras?
face is kind of darkened more than the other to bring it out?
The what?
Like this side of her face is kind of more dark.
Right, because I'm seeing the
shadow.
light,
Mhm.
so this part is lighter, yeah.
Mhm.
My daughter is yelling.
What?
The yelling person is my daughter,
How old is she?
42.
Does she work out there?
Yeah, she was here.
It's a little wet here to be doing this right now. I should wait till it's a little more dry. As you can tell from how it's
Spreading.
Bleeding a little
spreading,
bit.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a nice effect, though.
And when it dries,
And
it's
as
lighter.
for the more detail, you'd almost have to wait like before you put in too much things around the eye. Leave a nice highlight on the lips. Oops.
Now she looks native. What's that? Droop down.
I was gonna say she looks kind of Greek.
My husband says I always look like I'm mad. I said, that's a squaw face. Come on. I'm not mad. Nice.
My sister and brother-in-law have a saying for that. Resting bitch face. You know, where somebody that just isn't smiling, your resting face is kind
Like that,
of a
yeah.
scowl. Like, oh,
It could be Native American.
RBF.
I like the Native American.
Yeah.
What?
Well, they say it nicer. They say RBF.
Oh.
It's just got a RBF.
Okay, now I think I put that green in there too soon before it was dry, but I'm trying to move into the next phase here of our class.
Them are some beautiful lips.
Mm-hmm.
I like those lips. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, they're really good. What color we're in? Is it rose or?
I think she
Mixed
just had a
that with
mixture
a
of.
little brown too, didn't you?
I guess so.
Well, you just put a mustache, a Hitler mustache.
Oh, my book club would like her.
You do a book club?
Yeah, and we're reading a Judy Blume book right now that's about all the people on a plane that crashes. So it's like, why do I want to know these people are dying in the end?
There was a gal in Madison that was in a book club, and she was telling me about the book that they were reading. Oh, for God's sakes, I don't know what it was called, but it was about in Illinois somewhere back in, and it's true story, when the women were working during the World War One and
Yeah.
putting together components for bombs and stuff, and they were licking these pieces, and they were
Those are the
toxic and radioactive.
those are the radium girls.
Yeah,
There it is.
radium.
You
Radium.
heard of them then. I think that's what the
You-
book was called.
You probably grew up with one of the watches because West Clock made a lot of them. In your house, it was the alarm clock that had the green. The numbers were in green. And when you turned the light off, they would glow. And that's what they did. They're radium.
That's right.
Why were they licking them?
To make a fine point on the brush.
Mm-hmm.
And they'd paint it on them.
But the last radium girl died 2 years ago, and she was 104.
Could they sue then? Did they end up suing her?
No, and the company
they
lied.
tried to, but they, yeah.
And they waited them out until they died.
Mm-hmm.
Did they get cancer?
But here's the thing: they're all buried in the ground now with all that radio.
And the graves glow.
Would it ever come out of the ground?
No,
Literally,
you're.
It's a
BSing,
half-life,
right?
it will.
The graves gonna glow.
That little
Well,
tiny
hundreds of
bit
thousands of
from
years.
licking the brushes, that
Yeah.
little tiny.
It got into their
Mhm.
bloodstream, and
Oh,
that
and then
actually
that
kind of
would-
like.
But it
take
only
their
killed
bodies away
some of
from
them.
The inside out.
It didn't kill all of them. It killed some.
Did you read the book?
No, but my parents talked about it all the time because my dad was with a lot of the scientists at Stanford in California. So we heard about. I grew up on these stories.
Oh.
These are the ones I heard at the breakfast table. And my mom was a nurse, so we heard a lot about it.
Well, how did that go? Dad being the scientist,
My mom being
the
a
nurse.
nurse?
Yeah. One creating it and the other one trying to fix.
No, is that
Well,
the
my
science-
dad became a science teacher,
Okay.
so that was his life.
I have a question.
Okay.
Is that her ear? The brown was the ear?
No, this, yeah, okay.
No, that's the
I think this is the hair
Shadow.
behind.
Mary Ann's
it.
going to hear our
right
conversation.
here.
Well, it might intrigue her.
It might, yes.
Her ear is going to be covered up by the hair?
Well, I'll show you where the ear is.
We aren't talking about her anyway.
That's true. That's true.
My book clubs for December is from the 1600s, the plague that hit London.
Oh,
It's a
that
true
is
story.
that is fascinating. That's a good book.
Did you
Yeah.
put that in
And if your family was alive then and survived it, you have a wonderful little thing called CCR5 Delta 32
In your body.
That will protect you
from plague, smallpox, AIDS.
there?
It's
Oh,
a
sure,
whole
that's her whole
litany
ear right there. Yeah.
of diseases you just won't get.
But I think that was you talking about that once before with
Absolutely
DNA
fascinates
and-
me.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah.
It's like I'm like obsessed with this whole mess. Gotta stop it. I have to find some other obsession.
Painting.
I
It's
do the
good.
painting. I've been watching them do the making. What do they call fractals? Oh, is that
Oh, cracking, yeah.
oh,
What?
amazing!
No, fractals are different than fracking.
No, fractal. It's where you put alcohol in the paint and drop it onto a wet medium, and it explodes like a snowflake. Really pretty.
What kind of alcohol?
Uh,
Rubbing alcohol?
So she's going to have a red eye?
let's see.
So far.
Not yet.
They
It'll
have,
get
they
covered
have,
up with another color. huh?
usually at the Christmas art festival, one of the women there come in. You can frackle with her.
Oh, you can freckle with her?
Yeah, I did that last year. $5 and
You can come away
she'll
with one.
teach you.
It's very interesting how it works, how the paint
I
moves.
think so too.
I think I've seen that woman.
It's
You
why I
sit
like
down and do
watercolor.
it, by her station there.
Yeah.
You're talking about the plagues that happened. You know, half of our nursery rhymes when we were younger are about plagues.
The three blind mice thing, and yeah.
And Ring Around the
and
Roses.
Ring around the rosy, yeah. It's like wow,
Ashes,
you know.
ashes.
Yeah,
Really?
they're
I
all
didn't know
related
that.
to
The rosy is the pock mark that you got with plague.
Really?
Interesting history to look at and how much of Europe was decimated.
and how much we used to just sing it as a kid's song and had no clue. You know.
Yeah.
You know the
Wow, she's
extent
looking
of
like
it.
a real girl.
And that brown eye or red eye, it really looks good in there too, because it just brings everything up.
Well,
Brings her eye out, but it
yeah, I want us to get into the other stuff here, but that we won't have planned. But
no, she's beautiful.
Are you gonna auction this one off? I hope I win.